All right, welcome back to the channel, and my name is Mike, and here I'm in the shop working on some bee boxes today. Get ready for the springtime. It's going to get ready. It's going to come a lot quicker than you think, and we want to make sure that our beehives are all set up, ready for the new bees that are coming. You could order bees off the line. I'd go for Barnyard Bees. I think it come down from down south there. Really nice people. I've had really good service from them because I bought them a couple times before. And so if you get want to know where to buy some bees, look at Barnyard Bees. So this is what I got now. Let me see. I have right here. There's one right here. But these are called supers. Okay. And supers a little bit of a kind of a top board there, but supers. I make these. I normally take one of these and I make a pattern. That's what I do. I use it and I put the markings on it. So if you're going to decide to buy these, or not buy them, but get plans off the line, make sure you use the exact same plans at all times, because everybody makes them just a little bit different than the next person. So, and then if you don't, then your boxes they're just not going to line up like they should. You understand what I'm saying? So you want to try to keep the same plans. So these are medium supers. And all my frames and stuff, like I said, you can see all the frames I built. I built every one of these myself. I built, and then also you can buy the foundations here and put the foundations on. You know, you can buy them off the line. Now, what I like doing with the frames, I understand that people think it's just so easy to go ahead and buy a frame, put it in. But I like the natural cone. And what I normally do is I have one here. And this is one of the bigger frames, and I use all 10 frame box. You can get to 8 frames if you want to use it, but I just use fishing twine. It works really well for me, like a 12-pound test. And then there's a small little board at the top up here, and I'll wax that board and allow them bees to go ahead and build that wax straight down over. And so I normally do, when I do my frames, my frames, I just drill holes in them. But what makes it nice is that, you know, if you're going to use a natural, because I like the natural cone, and you know, because when we growing up, that's what you had. Your dad had bee box on, he gave you honey, and you ate it with that cone, you know, that natural cone. Of course, there was a lot of other products that came out. You can still buy it, honey with, you know, the cone in it. But I usually use one with natural with the string, and then I use one with the foundation, and then I'll just keep doing that. One natural, one foundation, one natural, one foundation. One thing it does, it holds me down from buying so many of these foundations, because man, they are getting really expensive, and I think they get harder and harder to clean. I don't know how many times you can use them, but you still have to, when you use them, after you clean them, you know, you need to wax this. So there's a lot of maintenance into it than it is to go ahead and work yourself into, you know, a whole box of natural cone. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it makes a big difference. That's what I like doing. Okay, so what we have down here is this is a deep, and this is my pattern box. I got some writing on the inside of it, where I got all my measurements and stuff, and I put PAT on it, PAT on it, so it's my pattern box. And then of course, I have a couple different cuts of handles where I would like to put them, so it's like something I just start out with. And I made a super like that. I made a medium super that goes on top. It's a pattern. I have a bottom pattern. I have everything. I got one whole box set up with a super and a deep, so I'll know all my measurements and I can just keep them that way. These will go all 10. You can get the 8s, or you can build the 8s, but I use all 10s, 10 frames all the way across. That's what I like using. I've been using them for many, many years. So let me set this back down here. This is one of the bottoms I make, and this is made out of OSB board, 7/16 with just a couple pieces of scrap through here. So it really was really inexpensive, that is. This came out with a piece of Lawan, they call it. You buy one sheet, 4x8 sheet, lasts a good while. You can get a lot of these built out of them. Of course, this is tongue and groove inside where I fit it together like a picture frame, and basically made out of some scrap wood. You can see little hole right here, But and then on this side, of course, I have a couple places cut here, and that's to give a little bit more ventilation for the bees. Normally, what I do, I'll actually, if I give the bees some ventilation, what I like doing, I mean, you could do it the way you want to do it, is I will take my top liner and put it on here and just stick something real small up underneath here like this, and it kind of gives it a little bit more ventilation when you put you put this top on like this. So that works too. And it also gives that roof a little tendency to drain some of the water in the back. So there's a lot of little tricks you learn how to do. Eventually, if you get used to it, and then let me go ahead and get this over here. Put my board in there. I'll show you what it looks like. Real easy, simple design. And like I said, I sell these online too. I've sold quite a few of them here. And then this is the front reducer. Goes in like this, and it's got a small part right here. And then you also have a larger one. For different times, like during the summer, you would probably use, well, what I use is the larger one in summer to allow the bees, more bees to come out and travel in and out of the box. And then during the winter time, I put the small one in so it could slow the bees down a little bit, kind of keep them inside. Because bees have a tendency to, well, I know if you end up doing it this way, and say you have another box on top of this thing, okay, and your bees don't seem to go up in here, because bees always like to go up really high because of heat. If they don't want to go up in the top area, you probably should remove this top box and just go ahead and put a cover on it. That's what I normally do. I just go ahead and put the cover on like this to keep the bees down, because bees will actually bundle up like this real tight to get yourself warm and keep yourself warm, because they're surrounding that queen. And then during the summertime they expand and they get further out, and then when their wings are flying and stuff, they kind of cool themselves down, so they have their own weather thing, they make in there. That's pretty fascinating. So let me move this over here. Okay, now here is one of the frames. This is how I made some of the frames. Let me show you this before I do that. The reason why, well, one of the things I like on is I know I was telling you about how you can do the natural frame, but when you make these frames, some of them you can buy that it's like this in here. It's not cut too good, but they go straight down here. Okay, some they make it a little harder to go into the box too whenever you get ready to put them in, but the reason why, my understanding is, that little gap in there is good for is to give the bees a little bit more room to kind of go between here, you know what I mean? Because if you're all the way out to 10 frames, they're either going to have to come up, you know what I mean, through here, they're going to come down here. It just gives them more travel room, so they can get in between the two frames. So that makes a lot of sense. Keep your boxes clean as much as you can. What I do with my bottom box is, whenever time comes and see it's kind of dirty, I'll make extra of those, and then when I make the extras, I'll just put a new bottom on it, and then I'll take this off and I'll clean it up, power wash it, clean it up, and then use it again. But I always like to make sure my bees are really, really clean. Okay, they need a little bit of help, sometimes too. All these frame pieces, you can see, I make all these myself, all the little cuts and everything. And you can make all this stuff on a table saw. I use a data blade on the side of these. I don't know if you can see the little marks in those. Okay, when I got the data blade set up, and I only have one saw, you definitely got to do everything you can with the data blade. So here's one here cut, data blade. Here's one here cut. Really simple. You just kind of stick them like it. And I say, I'll do the ball. Stick it here. Stick it here. And this one goes on top right here. I put staples in. I don't use any glue. I just put staples in. and then up here, a couple staples. And then you got yourself a 6 1/4 frame, what they call it. And then these are your reducers. They're real simple to make. You can find, like I said, you can get a plan online. You can make them. I think you can make them. Everybody tries to make them the same, you know, the same width in here. You probably can make them a little bit bigger. I don't know if I suggest this one here. I try to make it because, you know, it's where it kind of closes the bees up when it gets cold out. So there you go. And here's the roof. I forgot to show you that. It's still got the OSB. That's why I used it. And some scrap boards. And then I bought this tin. And the tin, I got a bender. So I went and bought a bender so I could bend this tin, make it a little bit nicer. But like I said, all the measurements offline. I try to stick with the same measurements on all the bee boxes that you're gonna make. If you guys are getting ready for spring here, for your honeybees, and you think about building them, that's a good thing. So, okay, if you have any comments, just leave them down below, and please subscribe to the channel. And thanks for watching.